Have you ever stopped at a red light and wondered why the lights are stacked one above the other instead of sitting side by side? It seems so ordinary that most of us never question it. Yet traffic lights are among the most important objects we encounter every day. Millions of drivers rely on them without a second thought. But why did someone decide that red should go on top, yellow in the middle, and green at the bottom? Was it simply a design choice, or is there a deeper reason hidden in the history of transportation? Today, we will uncover the surprising story behind one of the world's most familiar roadside designs, right here, on History of Simple Things. Traffic lights are so common today that it's hard to imagine roads without them. Yet the first traffic signals appeared long before automobiles filled city streets. In the mid-1800s, growing railway networks faced a serious challenge. How could train operators communicate safely over long distances? Railroads developed color-based signals to tell engineers whether to stop, proceed with caution, or continue moving. These early systems would eventually influence the traffic lights we know today. The earliest traffic signal for road traffic was installed in London in 1868 near the Houses of Parliament. It looked nothing like modern traffic lights. During the day, it used mechanical arms similar to railroad signals. At night, colored gas lamps displayed red and green lights. Unfortunately, the system had a major flaw. A gas explosion injured the police officer operating it, and the experiment was abandoned. Still, the idea of controlling traffic with colored signals had been introduced. As automobiles became more common in the early 1900s, cities faced increasing congestion and accidents. Roads needed a reliable way to manage traffic flow. Inventors in the United States began experimenting with electric traffic signals. By 1914, one of the first electric traffic lights was installed in Cleveland, Ohio. It used red and green lights, along with a warning sound to signal changes. Soon, engineers added a third color, yellow. This gave drivers advance warning that the signal was about to change. The three-color system proved effective and quickly spread across cities around the world. But another question remained: where should these colors be placed? The answer once again came from the railroads. Long before traffic lights controlled intersections, train signals already used a standard arrangement. Red meant danger and stop. Green meant clear and go. Yellow indicated caution. Railway operators learned that consistent placement reduced confusion. If every signal looked the same, train engineers could react instantly without needing to think about which light was where. When traffic engineers adapted these signals for automobiles, they followed the same principle. Red was placed at the top because it represented the most critical instruction: stop. The human brain processes urgent warnings more effectively when they appear in a predictable location. Drivers approaching an intersection needed to identify the stop signal immediately, even from a distance. The vertical arrangement offered practical advantages as well. Early city streets were crowded with signs, utility poles, and buildings. A tall, narrow signal occupied less horizontal space and remained visible above traffic. Mounting lights vertically also made them easier to spot when several lanes of vehicles lined up beneath them. Instead of spreading outward, the signal could rise above the visual clutter. Another important factor was visibility from different angles. Intersections are often viewed from varying distances and positions. A vertical stack allows drivers to recognize the signal's orientation more easily. Even if sunlight, weather, or obstructions make one light harder to see, the position of the illuminated light provides an extra clue. A glowing light at the very top is instantly recognized as red, while a light at the bottom is understood as green. As traffic systems expanded, governments and engineering organizations began creating standards. Consistency became essential. Drivers traveling between cities or eventually between countries needed traffic signals to behave predictably. Standardizing the arrangement reduced errors and improved safety. By the middle of the 20th century, the familiar red over yellow over green layout had become the norm across much of the world. Interestingly, not all traffic lights are vertical. In some places, particularly in parts of the United States, traffic signals are mounted horizontally. However, even these follow the same basic logic. When arranged sideways, red is usually positioned on the left, yellow in the center, and green on the right. The critical idea is not necessarily verticality itself, but consistency. Drivers must know exactly where to expect each color. There is also a fascinating human factor involved. Studies of visual perception show that people react faster when information appears in expected locations. Because drivers have spent years seeing red at the top or left, their brains learn the pattern almost automatically. A different arrangement would require extra mental processing, even if only for a fraction of a second. On busy roads, those fractions of a second can matter. The standardized layout became especially important for people with certain forms of color vision deficiency, often called color blindness. Some individuals may have difficulty distinguishing red from green under certain conditions. Knowing the position of each light provides an additional layer of information. Even if the color itself is unclear, the location helps communicate the signal's meaning. So the next time you're waiting at an intersection and glance up at a traffic light, remember that its vertical arrangement wasn't chosen by accident. It's the product of history, practicality, and a desire to keep millions of people moving safely every day. What looks like a simple red, yellow, and green signal is actually a hidden piece of transportation history, one that most of us see countless times but rarely stop to think about. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.